Hey there, crazy kids, I am the Good Old Gamer, and welcome back to some more Bountiful Minecraft, continuing on with the bridge build. And my, is this bridge build taking forever, but we're continuing on as we have been. We need to make some more, um, ladders. That's the word I was looking for, apparently. Um, don't know why I was having such difficulty with that, but anyways, let's make more. Let's see. Nope, that's not the way to do it. Gotta go like that, where Minecraft automatically sorts the stuff. Um, Probably gonna need more than that. Let's do that again. Yeah, that'll be enough for now. We can make more later if we need to. Let's continue on and finish building the pylons. Now, the question is, can I go from here all the way down here? It looks like maybe I can. Hopefully I can. That'll help in terms of building all of these. Oh, well, I was almost able to. Do I have any dirt? Yes, I do. Goody. Well, let's save us some trouble here. Do that, and then we'll continue on. So maybe you guys are wondering what I'm going to be talking about today while I'm doing this random, kind of mindless, kind of not mindless building. And what I'm going to be talking about is the fact that I have no dirt. No, not really, but well, actually, I think I can make that. And I can't. Oh, I'm dumb. But whatever, I can make it from there, and then can I make that? Nope, because I didn't run, because the game would not allow me the opportunity. I should be able to make it. There we go. I just need to run. Okay. Then we're good there. So let's go all the way over here. And we'll keep working on these pylons from here. As we were in the previous video with those right over there. Oh, another thing I didn't check. Do I have any more? No, I don't. Damn it. I'm going to need more cobblestone stairs. Did I really just do that? I'm stupid. Anyways, after this pylon, we're going to have to go get some more cobblestone stairs. So what I'd want to talk about in this video while I'm doing this is maybe going over my computer specs, because I mentioned them in a few videos. I may have even done a video where I mentioned them in more detail, but I've been talking about them lately in various discussions. Um, Maybe even in previous videos. I know in the last video I was talking about my hard drive space and how I had enough for all of my Steam games and stuff. Um, does shift not work? Not shift, but sneak doesn't work on stairs apparently. Whoops! Ah! I'm bad. I'm bad at video games. Why do you people watch me? I'm so bad. I'm so bad. And there's not even a ladder. There's not even a ladder over here. Oopsies, I kind of forgot that one. Oh, I'm so very bad. I am terrible. So apparently sneaking, crouching, whatever, doesn't work on stair blocks. Or at least it didn't for me because the game hates me, but that's usual. So what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted is... Well, I wanted to discuss my computer specs because, first of all, it gives me something to talk about, and second of all, I was discussing a little bit of it with my buddy Mindfiend in his return video. I think it was in the comments of his return video. I was talking about how computers get old. There was that discussion because his computer, he's having computer issues. That's one of the reasons why he temporarily retired. Apologies for the heater going on in the background. I'm going to see if I can make some stairs here. So anyways, we were talking about computers dying because, as computers tend to do, as time goes on, they get slower and they get less effective as they were when you originally bought them or built them or whatever you want to, however you want to look at it. And so in the process of that discussion, I mentioned my computer specs because when I ordered this computer, anytime I order computers, when I decide I'm going to buy a new computer, I always try and, I guess you call it future speccing them or whatever. I try and get computers that will last a long while and will do what I need them to do. In my previous computer, which was a laptop or netbook, whatever you want to call it, I'd gotten that because I wanted something mobile, but I also wanted a laptop that was decent at gaming. And at the time that I got that laptop, that was several years ago now, back in 2008 maybe. At the time, it was for what it could do, it was really, really good at it. And the same goes with the computer that I have now, where I have a desktop PC now, not just a laptop, but a desktop PC. One of the reasons that I got a desktop PC over another newer laptop is because at the time that I got my laptop, I had an uncertain future about where I was going to be, what I was going to be doing, where I was going to be moving. I just knew that I was going to be moving, and so I knew I was going to need a computer, but I knew that at the time, I knew that at the time a laptop was going to be better for my living situation overall. But when I got this desktop PC, at the time that I bought it, I had just moved in to to my dad's home, my father's house, and I'd moved in there because I'd inherited it when he passed on, and I knew when I was moving in there that I was going to be in there for at least a year. It ended up being close to 2.5 years that I was in there. And so I knew that I was going to be there for a long time. I knew I could have a little bit of stability. And so I figured I could have a desktop PC. And so that's why I got it. Also, at the time, I had been dealing with my netbook or laptop, whatever you want to call it, for quite some time. And obviously, if I was going to be buying the desktop PC, well, that was because my laptop at the time was on its, downward take, I guess. It wasn't really dying, but it wasn't doing great anymore. I'd had it for a few years. I'd gotten the use out of it. I don't regret my purchase of the laptop or using it or anything like that. It did what I needed it to do, but it was on its last legs, and that's why I was getting a new computer, whether it was going to be a laptop or desktop or whatever. So one of the factors was getting into the desktop was the fact that I'd been using the laptop, and I'd um, decided I wanted something different from that. Whoops. This is the second layer. I need to not do that. I need to do it up. This is what I get for talking and trying to do this at the same time, I guess. So anyways, I got this at the time, newer desktop PC, and that was a couple years ago now. Back in, I don't know, 2012 maybe? 2013, something like that. I don't really remember, but it was just a couple years ago. And so when I was getting this PC, I wanted to future-proof it. Because buying a computer, as any of you will know, is an investment in time and especially money. For me, especially, I am not a computer guy. I don't build computers. I wouldn't even know the first thing about how to even build a computer. That's not my thing. So when I buy them, I try and future-proof them so that they last quite a while before I would have to, go through the whole process of buying a new one. And computers are not exactly cheap. They're a few $1,000s depending on the ones you get, especially gaming computers specifically. And so I wanted to get one that lasts a while, that makes the investment worth it. So the discussion came along when I was talking with Mindfiend about my computer specs, and I told him that I have 32 gigs of RAM in my current desktop PC. And he was pretty surprised at that, as I'm sure a lot of people probably would be. Maybe not so much these days, but when I bought it, certainly a couple years ago, that's kind of crazy. And it's probably going to be more RAM than I'll ever need for quite some time. I don't imagine that there's going to be many games or even recording software or videos or whatever that's going to need that much RAM at any single time. But like I said, it's future proofing. It's the fact that I'm not a computer guy in terms of building or upgrading or stuff. So I'm not going to be taking the case apart and putting in new RAM myself or anything like that. the closest I'd get to doing that is probably paying someone else to do it for me. So rather than go through that whole deal, I just decided, well, when I was ordering the computer from HP, that one of the options for this particular model of computer was a 32 gigs of RAM. That was their highest option. You could go, I think it was like 4, 8, 16, and 32. And I just said, well, 32 is the most I can put in there, so that's what I'm going to do. And so that's what I did. So there's 32 gigs of RAM on this PC. Not only is it future proofing, but that won't ever be a concern when it comes to gaming for me, or video processing or whatever. But in terms of gaming or whatever, I'm pretty much going to meet that requirement on any game for quite a while. I'm pretty sure. I don't see many games requiring that much RAM, you know. So that's why I have 32 gigs in there. It's future proofing. It's extending the life of the computer as much as I possibly can. That's the ultimate goal. I got as much of the hard drive space as I did for the same reason, future proofing. I have I think it's 250 gigabyte SSD drive, which is the main drive, and it has my operating system on it and all the regular computer programs on it. It has a few games on it, but I'm going to hopefully be able to get through those games and then delete them off of the SSD drive and then reinstall them onto one of the other hard drives. You know, thanks to Steam being able to download and install as many times as I want or whatever. So hopefully I'm going to be able to do that. But it's basically the SSD drive basically just is there because SSD drives load the fastest, you know, rather than the regular other types of hard drives. They load the fastest, so it's going to load the operating system the fastest. It's going to have access to all of the video rendering software and all the important programs like the web browser and everything like that. All the stuff that isn't a game or isn't Fraps, I guess, because Fraps I've got on a different hard drive as well. But I got the 250 gigabyte SSD drive, and that's for, like I said, all of the main stuff, the operating system and all that. And then for the games and Fraps, both Fraps itself and its raw video recordings, as well as my rendered videos that I output through Sony Vegas or whatever, all of that storage space is on separate hard drives, two separate hard drives. One hard drive is 2 terabytes and the other hard drive is 3 terabytes. They're the regular hard drives, not SSD, whatever those are. Like I said, I'm not a computer guy, so you guys probably know better than I do about that. But they're regular hard drives, and 5 terabytes altogether. 2 terabytes in one and 3 terabytes in the other. And that's where all of my games go. That's where all of the videos go. That's basically used for storage space. And I future-proofed that. I ordered that with that in mind because, again, I want to keep this computer for a while. I want to be able to make the most of it for a while. And at the time I bought the computer, I didn't have very many games on Steam back then. I just barely even gotten started into using Steam. But I didn't know how many computers, or I mean, how many games I would eventually get, and I didn't know how many videos I was going to be making, and I didn't want to run into the situation of being in the middle of a recording of a game and then having that I need to go get more cobblestone, make more stairs and stuff. Having that that situation come up where I've seen it for a few people. It might have even run into it myself where you're running out of hard drive space, the hard drive gets full or whatever, so you have to stop the recording and delete videos and then start it up again. And I didn't want to run into that situation, so I thought, okay, well, if I put Fraps on this 3 terabyte hard drive or whatever, then I don't have to ever worry about that because I don't think I'm going to ever make a single recording session that's 3 terabytes in length, you know. Uh, so it's all a matter of future proofing, is what my computer specs come down to. So I have all that for storage space, and it's done me really well in that respect. I I filled up one of the hard drives. I don't remember if it was the 2 terabyte or the 3 terabyte. Probably the three, because all of the, like, I'd say 400, 500 or so maybe of my 600 Steam games are installed on that hard drive. So it's pretty full. It's got like 20 gigs left that I'm just leaving, um, for save game files or whatever. And I barely even touched the other one yet. The other one is where the videos are and where I've started putting my Steam library of games now that I install is on the other terabyte hard drive, whatever it is, the 2 or the 3. I don't remember which is which. Um, really, is that all the cobblestone I have? Oh no, I got quite a bit more. Okay, good. Let's make some more stairs. So there's that, and then the one thing that I'm not too terribly impressed on when it comes to my computer is the graphics card. Not because it hasn't been able to keep up, because it certainly has, and I think probably my 32 gigs of RAM helps a lot with that, and the operating system and everything being on the SSD drive and stuff. But the one thing I'm not impressed with is the graphics card, because it's an NVIDIA GT 640, which is pretty good, but it's kind of a mid-range graphics card. Um, I think it was I think it was the best graphics card I could get for the model of computer I got at the time, and it was probably pretty high end at the time I got it a few years ago. But I know there are NVIDIA cards out there that are like 980s, and I know there are the Titan X's or whatever. Um, and I know my 640 can't really compare to that. My, what is it, GT or GeForce GT 640, whatever it is. So I know that eventually, at some point, I'm going to start running into games that start to tax the system and all that. But so far, it's been keeping up pretty well. I haven't had really too many issues running games and even recording games at the same time and stuff. So that is the one thing that at the time, I future-proofed as best as I could. That was the best graphics card available to me. But it's not the best now. And if I ever have to upgrade or get a new PC, it'll probably be that the graphics card that's the first issue that comes up for that, I would imagine. But we'll see. I mean, it's done good so far, and I don't expect it to do too terribly. It's certainly better than a lot of um, computers are, but it's not better than a lot of the beast computers out there are. So that's one thing that's not so future-proof, but it's good enough for now. Like I said, I'm not really a tech guy, so if it starts causing too many problems, um, I don't know. I might end up just getting a new PC if nothing else. Or I might have somebody upgrade it for me if there's somebody like that around here. I don't know. I live in a pretty rural area, so it can be tricky being able to find someone relatively close by that could do that. But anyways, what else? The computer processor's pretty decent. It's an i7. It's an Intel i7. Um, Hold on a second. I'll look and see. Hopefully that didn't screw up the recording. It's an i7 3770K processor. If that matters to anybody, I don't know the first thing about if that matters or not, but that's what it is, and it's 3.5 gigahertz. So yeah, there's that. Um, it's decent enough. It's a quad core, I think, 4 cores. I think I could have gone as far as 8 at the time that I was ordering the computer, but I thought, I don't know, eight's a little bit overkill. And at the time that I bought the computer, there were games that had trouble just running with dual core processors. And I thought, okay, quad core is future proofing enough that when games get to running, multiple processors at the same time or whatever, and threading it out or whatever, however they do it, that quad core should last for quite a while. But I could have gone more with that, but that was a choice. I decided I I could tone down a bit. So it's just a quad core processor, if that matters to anybody. Like I said, I'm not a tech guy, so it doesn't matter too much to me, other than when I was customizing the computer order, I went with bigger numbers is better. you know, um, that and the difference between what is it, Intel and no, AMD and Nvidia is the graphics card. That's right. I always liked Nvidia, so I always pick Nvidia cards. And I don't know. From what it seems like, it seems like to me anyway that I shouldn't have done that. That Nvidia is maybe more supported by games, more common. I don't know. But I've always liked Nvidia cards, so that's what I went with there. I should have just let the dirt despawn or whatever it was going to do. That was dumb. Anyways, now I get to do that. Now this is the one I was working on. Whatever, I'm stupid. Um, so that's the processor. It does all right. I guess that would be the other thing that would cause me to get a new computer or upgrade the computer or whatever, would be the processor, either the processor or the graphics card, which I suppose you could say is the main reason that anybody upgrades their computers, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know why I go chasing after these little things. It's just like, oh no, I'm gonna miss out on that one block if I don't go get it. Whatever. And I keep forgetting you can't crouch on these stupid stair blocks, or at least it doesn't seem to be working for me. So that doesn't help my situation at all. So anyways, I'm not talking about my computer specs, whatever, to brag about them or anything like that. It's more that I want to say, if you're going to be buying a computer, especially for gaming, even if you're not making YouTube videos, even if you're just doing it to game for personal enjoyment or whatever. Um, Future-proof your computers, at least reasonably. You know, obviously you have to go based on your budget and your own abilities, whether you can build a computer you're not yourself or not. But try and future-proof your PCs. Try and think about the storage space you're going to need in terms of your hard drives. Try and think about what you might need in processing power or graphics power, that sort of thing. Um, I like to order my computers online because you usually get options to customize it. You don't just have to go with a base model. If you go to any store, especially like a retailer, like a general store like Walmart or wherever, and you just decide, oh, I'm going to pick up one of the computers here, that'll do. Don't ever do that. Um, and if you go into specifically a computer store, don't go with the models that they got there. Ask if you can customize a computer, even if you have to wait a while for it to come in. You know, you have to wait for them to ship it in or whatever. Ask if you can customize it, and I'm sure they'll let you do it there or at the very least online. But do that. Get the things you need that is obviously within reason that you can afford, and try, like I said, to future proof so that in a year or two you're not finding yourself in the same situation buying yet another computer. You know, try and do the best you can with what you got so your computer lasts. You know, because computers are an investment, especially in terms of money. If you're building them yourself, they're going to be an investment in a lot of time as well. So you want them to last. So just try and think ahead of what you're going to need, what you're going to use your computer for, that sort of thing. Now, the computer company that I went with was HP. I think I mentioned that already. But I'm not going to say it's the best brand out there. I don't know what would technically be the best brand out there. I know Alienware computers are usually more geared towards gaming, and so they have they they have like supposedly um, more powerful sort of PCs or whatever you want to think of it as. But at the same time, if you go with Alienware, you're also paying for the brand, which means they can be more expensive. I don't know. I like going with HP. Most of my computers have been HP because I've never had a problem with HP computers. I really haven't. I've never had to call customer support. They've never failed on me. Um, Even though my laptop that I originally started this channel with is now in the later stages of its life, and I would say it's not good for gaming anymore or whatever. It's still not dead. I've never had any issues with it. I've never had it die on me or anything like that. It's mostly only going to be good for like web browsing or whatever now, but that's just general computer lifespans, you know. That's just computer aging if you want to think of it like that. It really has nothing to do with the brand of the computer or the technology behind it or anything. So that's why I go with HP. Plus, on the HP website, like I said, where I ordered my computer, I was able to customize it, and there was quite a few options on every choice, from graphics card to processor to hard drives and all that. The reason that I have two regular hard drives with, you know, the terabytes of space is because the model of computer that I was buying came with a second drive area that could have been a DVD, a Blu-ray DVD drive. Could have been a second one of those, or it could have been a hard drive. And I went with the hard drive option because the hard drive is going to be more useful to me than having two Blu-ray DVD drives, because you can only watch one Blu-ray movie at a time, you know? So, and I don't know too many games that need multiple discs running at the same time, so I decided instead of the two Blu-ray drives, I was going to get one Blu-ray drive and one extra hard drive, and the extra hard drive space has definitely come in more useful to me. And like I said, I'm not going to say one brand's better than the other. I'm sure the other brands of computers out there have similar setups. You know, you can customize on there and have all sorts of similar things. That's just the one that I happen to go with. But go with a brand you trust, a computer you've had experience with. And that's what I would suggest anyway. Future-proof your computer purchases. Don't just buy for the here and now. Don't just buy for what's good now. Buy for what will last, is what I would like to think of it as. Because maybe right now you don't need the best processor or whatever. Maybe all you play right now is, I don't know, World of Warcraft or Minecraft or whatever, and you only play one game, and it's a game that doesn't take up much processing or whatever. But you never know what games will come out, you know. Now you do know the style of the games you play. You do know the sort of games you play, so you have an idea of what you might need. But don't just buy for what you need now, is what I mean to say. And for those of you um, that are building the computers yourselves, first of all, I applaud you, because I don't have that technical know-how. So I'm glad you guys do, because we all know that doing it that way tends to be cheaper. Even if it's the same computer specs as like my computer or whatever, it'll be cheaper than what I bought mine for. So I applaud you for that. But at the same time, um, I'm just trying to kill this zombie here so it's out of my way. Whatever. Stay there then, zombie. What was I going to say? If you're building your computer yourself, you still want to future-proof your computer as much as you can. And because you're building the computer yourself, it's going to be cheaper than if you were ordering the computer from a, company or whatever. So put that money that you're saving, if you can, again, go by your budget and stuff, but put that money that you're saving into better parts. Obviously, if you're building the computers yourselves, you are aware that every time you open up the case of your computer and you take out a part and you put another part in, it can screw everything up. And so just because you can, 6 months down the line, take everything apart and upgrade your, I don't know, graphics card or processor or whatever you want to think of it as. Just because you can doesn't mean necessarily you should, if you don't have to, If you can afford a little bit better graphics card, do it now and have it last a little longer, that sort of thing. I can't believe I'm doing this pretty much autopilot while I'm sitting here talking. It's so weird to think that without even hardly thinking about it, I've managed to do all of these. It's crazy. I'd go to sleep, but I don't think it's gonna let me with everything around here. I don't even care to kill the zombie. I just wanted it out of the way. Anyways, yeah. And there comes a creeper to try and screw everything up, of course. Ooh, I have my bow. Okay, creeper. Yeah, there you go. How do you like it? That's what I thought. Just so I don't have to worry about you. Right. Oh, I do have an axe. And I didn't even realize. I'm stupid, but whatever. That's besides the point. I guess this is going to be an extra long video because I do want to just get this done, these pylons, and then next video do the walkway and stuff. So we're just going to keep going. Hope you guys don't mind. So anyways, back to the computer discussion that's going nowhere. That's just giving me things to talk about. Uh, Thinking about the future proofing and stuff of the computer is, when you think of it in that respect, I don't think the specs of my computer, particularly like 32 gigs of RAM or whatever, while it is probably overkill for the most part, uh, it shouldn't be that much more of a surprise when you think about it in terms of that. At the time I bought this computer that I have now, I had my YouTube channel going. I knew what I was going to use the computer for. Um, I knew I was going to make gaming videos, and I knew I was going to want to run games. And at that time, I'd been dealing with lag from my laptop, which was slowly, aging and stuff. And I'd been dealing with lag. You can see it on like my Fallout 3 videos, even some of my later Minecraft videos. There was quite a bit of lag, and I didn't want to deal with that anymore. I wanted to um, be able to enjoy the games without lag, and recently playing Fallout New Vegas has shown that it's much more fun when you don't have to adapt to the lag so much. Whoops. So that's why my computer is the way it is. I'm not sure what Mindfiend's specific situation was with him and his computer. He may not have had YouTube as a channel, as a video making thing for him yet. At the time he had his computer, maybe he did. I don't know, but I knew when I bought my computer that what I was going to be using it for. So it wasn't just a matter of, oh, this is a computer that I originally had just for work and email and browsing online and stuff, and I just decided one day I was going to start playing games on it. This was a computer I had envisioned all along to play games and make videos and stuff, so I customized it and ordered it accordingly at the time. So I would say that's one of the biggest factors in your investment in your computer, is know what you're going to do with it when you buy it. Even if you think you might get into games at some point, maybe there's one or two games that interest you, but you're not a big gamer. But if there's one or two AAA titles that are interesting you, and you think, oh, I might play this game or that game, um, but I'm mainly going to be using my computer for browsing online and emails and watching YouTube videos, or whatever. You might consider investing in at least somewhat of a gaming PC. I've I've seen many people who get into YouTube uh, gaming, as if you want to call it that, making uh, gaming videos here on YouTube, who are just starting off, who are using home computers that were just browsing online or watching videos or email or whatever, weren't specifically made for gaming, let alone making YouTube videos. Because keep in mind that making a video, rendering it out and stuff, that takes up quite a bit of processing power too. I've seen people try and use that, and and it shows. I mean, I've kind of been there. So that's one thing I would suggest as well. Know what you're going to be using your computer for when you order it. If you're just going to be using it to watch YouTube videos or to check email or that basic sort of thing, or even, for work or school or whatever, then that's great. Order one that fits your budget that you need. And I kind of envy you guys who just need a computer for work or school or that sort of thing that isn't too taxing, because you're going to have a pretty uh, easily affordable computer. A computer for those needs is going to be pretty light on the budget. You can just go to a regular store like, I don't know, Walmart or Home Depot or whatever, and pick up uh, a computer sitting there on the shelf, and it'll do everything you need if that's all you need it for. But know what you're going to do ahead of time, or at least have a good idea and plan for that. That would be my suggestion. Also, if you're not even just a gamer, but if you want to get into making videos for YouTube, um, you got to think about videos and rendering time and stuff. Even with my computer the way it is now, even with like the 32 gigs of RAM and the graphics card and the processor and all that quad core processor and everything and SSD drive and everything, it still probably takes um, twice the video length for rendering. Like if I have let's say a 30-minute video, the rendering time on it will probably be close to an hour. Maybe a little bit less than that, maybe a little bit more, depending on what's actually in the video. But the general rule of thumb is, for me, I've seen it's about twice as long as whatever the video length is. And that's with a pretty decent beastly PC. It took even longer on my old laptop to render out a video and stuff. It would take probably 2 or 3 times as long. So that's something else to consider. If you're going to make, first you got to consider if you're going to be playing games, then you got to consider if you're going to be making YouTube videos, and put that all in as a factor as well with your future proofing and stuff. I'm probably saying all of this as like Captain Obvious or whatever. Of course, GOG, you got to do all that. But these are things that sometimes you don't necessarily think about. When you're ordering a computer and looking at getting a new computer, you might be like, well, this works for me now. This is exactly what I need now. And what you might need a year down the road or 2 years down the road maybe doesn't occur to you, or it's just a second thought. But it really is something you want to think about. Anyways, I don't have too many videos left, or not videos, I mean pillars left to do, but I am I am just going to go ahead and make them in the next video, finishing up in the next video. This video has been long enough, and I'm running out of ways of talking about my computer without, I'm sure, boring you guys to tears. So I think this is going to be good for this one. We've gotten quite a bit done. Just got a few more pillars to finish up on the way over there, and then we can get started on the walkway. This bridge is taking forever, but hopefully it'll be worth it in the end. I was also thinking that I might, I don't know, I might do something like that in these middle areas of the pillars, just to give it some sort of texture, so it's not a big block of cobblestone all the time. So let me know what you guys think of that. Something like that. Obviously, over here it'd be extended, and each one of these would be even longer, just to give a different texture or whatever. Something to look at besides just a... I mean, it's still technically a big block of cobblestone, but a little bit of indentation and that sort of thing. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, we'll continue on next time. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. I am the Good Old Gamer. This has been more Bountiful Minecraft and me rambling on about things you probably don't really care too much about. Stay tuned for more next time. Bye-bye for now. By the way, yes, I know I have to eat in the next video. Whatever. Bye, guys.